Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do your October the 14th spiritual principle a day in a meditation. Hope you're doing well this morning. I am doing excellent. Matter of fact, I don't think I could be doing any better. I'm enjoying my morning. Okay, the title of our meditation is Restraint as an Expression of Freedom. Just staying in our seat without checking our phone or creating side conversation can be surprisingly difficult, especially when we are having feelings we'd rather avoid. That comes from the guiding principles, tradition 6, opening reflection. The ideal of a bunch of addicts sitting in a room together showing restraint sounds like the start of a bad joke. But hey, recovery in NA is full of miracles. It's truly an achievement that we're able to create and sustain an atmosphere of recovery, considering our individual and collective capacity for being distracted. Many of us have to work especially hard to sit with any degree of stillness and patience and just be present because of how our brains work, or, of course, how new we are. And yes, there are many tools and avenues that may divert our attention from our primary purpose in a meeting: our smartphones, our fellow addicts, a noise outside, a technological glitch, a moment of boredom, or overstimulation. Out of respect for the speaker, the newcomer, our group, and ourselves, we try to stay focused. Showing restraint in this manner is the respectful thing to do. There are other times when our diversion is a sign of something deeper, and our tendency to deny or avoid our feelings gets ignited. Identifying with the members shared can be a lovely moment of connection, but it can also make us want to crawl out of our skin. We addicts seem to be allergic to discomfort, and yet pushing through it will often bring us to a place of more profound comfort with ourselves and our surroundings. Glancing at our phone won't give us that. It does help to have some guidance here, as not all discomfort has that potential to be productive. We need a sponsor and other trusted NA members to help us distinguish between a moment when we should rein in our desire to scoot and stay with our feelings, and when we should honor our need to remove ourselves from a potentially harmful situation. Restraint is an expression of freedom. The freedom to do is also the freedom not to do. I'll practice that today by not being rude or running from my feelings. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Restraint is an expression of freedom. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I think, it's easier now, right? When I make an in-person meeting, it's easier now to find my chair. I'll greet a few people because once I sit down in my chair, I'm not getting back up. Okay, so it's easier for me now to greet a few people, hug up on a couple people, find where I want to be located, sit down, and stay still. I rarely, unless I'm really, really sad, I rarely will drink the coffee that is made at the meeting. Rarely. If I'm really, really sad, I love the feeling of bonding, I guess, the nostalgia that comes with having a small 10-ounce styrofoam cup in my hand with some black coffee because I probably am not going to drink it all. And I cannot stand powdered creamer, and I don't use sugar, right? And so, but there's something about having that styrofoam cup with black coffee steaming out of it and taking a few sips of it that makes me remember the beginning days when I first started coming to the meetings and would make coffee and would enjoy the coffee and sometimes some cookies that were nearby. And it makes me feel a sense of connectedness when I'm really, really sad. But other than that, I probably have already come with my warm drink that I'm going to have, my own coffee, my own whatever it is that I'm drinking. Sometimes it's just ice water, right? So I find that as I've gotten older in recovery, it's very easy for me to sit down and stay still. What is not easy for me is to allow other people their own process. I cannot stand loud people in the meeting that are talking, giggling up and down. It is such a distraction, yet I can relate to how I used to be. But I have so little patience for it. And I find myself becoming distracted from whoever is sharing with the noise around me, right? I just kind of thought, it's only like an hour and a half meeting. What's wrong with being quiet for an hour and a half? Like, if you're not sharing, really, you have to create this disturbance. And it's so disrespectful. But in my own disposition about it, sometimes I can also become disrespectful in my response to it. So for me, that's the larger challenge with having some time, right? But this particular meditation is encouraging us all to respect the atmosphere of recovery. It's only 1.5 to 2 hours, right? It's a small meeting. There's readings. When I say a small meeting, I mean a small time for the meeting. There's readings. Those take up, oh my goodness, they take up so much time, right? And if they do the just for today, that takes time, right? And so there's things that take time that kind of take away from the time that is available for addicts to share where they're at. So I just feel, I'm not religious about it, but I feel like it's a special place, right? The meeting is a special place today. It's not how I used to be, right? And I bring my respect to the table. So I want to encourage you to think about, what do you bring to the table when you go to an in-person meeting? Are you that person that everybody knows who are always laughing and talking and hanging out in front of the meeting, smoking, very rarely in the meeting? Or are you that person that comes in, you sit down, you share, and then you go, or you share so angrily, you leave out of embarrassment? Usually that's how it was for me, right? So just kind of think about what you're bringing to the table. And remember that the level of restraint that you are showing in a respectful manner may not be appropriate in another situation, right? That's why some feedback is important here, because sometimes we could restrain ourselves and it's not a healthy type of restraint. So we need to know the difference. But when we're in a meeting, yeah, I believe that the freedom to express ourselves, to show restraint, and to be focused and to be respectful is a beautiful thing. Hey, listen, I've enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose. I intend to. I already am, actually. I already am. I am having such a good time being near the water, right? And the wind just blowing. I love that feel in the air, right? And so I'm having probably one of my best mornings that I've had in, I don't know, one of my best mornings I've had in the last 24 hours. Want to have a beautiful day. You take care. Talk to you soon.